Welcome, everybody. This is Charles Kuck here at Kuck Baxter Immigration. I'm so sorry to be a few minutes late today. And getting started, we had a little technical issue here. You may not realize the United States, one of our cable companies, Comcast, is apparently down. Had some issues this morning, so we had some problem getting going. But we figured out a workaround, and we're now live. We want to welcome everybody to our podcast, our podcast, as well as our Facebook Live, because I'll upload this to our podcast a little bit later today. If you didn't know, we do have a podcast, The Immigration Hour, which you can download from every major podcast provider, at least in the United States. I wanted to talk about the judge's decision that is coming up today. Also wanted to talk about the what happened on Monday. We're the plaintiffs in this case. We're representing the lottery selectees. And Mike, thank you, Mike. Mike is saying the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and that he is right about. Today is the last official day of the DV2020 lottery. So in every other year prior to this year, this is it. If you didn't get your visa by today, you weren't getting your visa. And so, looking at 30 years, this is the 30th year of the DV lottery. I guess the 29th year because it became official in 1990. But when you think about what a great success the lottery has been over the years, an average of 50,000 people for 30 years, it's 1.5 million immigrants that have come to America because of a program to diversify the types of immigrants that come. I think the DV lottery has been an extraordinary success. I think it has been great for America. I think it's been a great economic tool. I think it's been a great societal tool. Now, not everybody won a lottery state. Some people went back home because they weren't ready for it. But, it's also changed people. One of my partners, Danielle Claffey, is married to a lottery recipient, an early lottery recipient from Ireland. And I have to tell you, I think it's changed America and who we are. And I personally am grateful for it. We don't generally do much with the lottery. As you all know, the lottery is free. It doesn't cost you anything to enter the lottery. It costs you a fortune to process at the consulates, but the lottery is basically free. So, you don't necessarily need a lawyer to do this stuff. And most people don't have lawyers because generally you don't need them. You don't need us until you need us. And you needed us this year. When I first decided to get involved with this with Greg Siskin and Jeff Joseph, we got in because we realized that there were a lot more people that were not being represented. One, because they couldn't afford it, and two, they didn't know about it. So we began pushing the word out in June, and we were able to get our application, literally put it all together in a matter of weeks. Just a couple of weeks. And I think that says a great deal about the lawyers, Phil Kuck, our associate, and my son, a great young lawyer, did most of the yeoman's work here. We filed our TRO and PI with the judge we were assigned to, because we were not assigned to Judge Mehta, in July, and we literally couldn't get a hold of him. We tried everything short of going and pounding on the door in Washington, D.C.'s office. We tried everything. Which is just crazy. And then ultimately, when we finally did get that judge's attention, Judge Mehta had already been assigned the case on Gomez, and he just moved it over. They just transferred it. And that's how we got in front of Judge Mehta. Again, in early August, when we had a pending PI, had an initial conference, and then, we didn't have a hearing for 3 more weeks until August 24th. I think it was 24th. Time's been flying this year. But we didn't get a decision on something that we filed in late June, early July, till September 4th. So that meant we really only had 3.5 weeks to process 41,400 visas. And it was impossible. It's never going to happen. They were never going to process 41,400 visas in 3 weeks. One of the telling things from the government's response, the government's brief that was filed last Friday was, oh, well, that's life. I mean, it's basically that's life. The law is the law. Sorry we screwed up. Sorry we intentionally didn't give you the visa. Sorry we made this so hard. COVID, and sorry, end of the year. And then they kind of threw a little bone out there as well. Maybe we'll finish up the people that we started. So maybe you reserve 1,500, or whatever, 800 or 400. It was a meaningless gesture. So on Monday, the judge is like, really? That's your position? It's like nothing. One of the things you learn in law school is you learn to negotiate. And one of the first things you learn about negotiating is you be the guy that asks for the number. Don't be the guy that gives the number. But the reality is the judge is the judge in this case. So what number? Well, we wanted all of them. Okay. We knew that there's 40,000 visas left. We know that. Okay. But we knew the judge. It was clear the judge was not going to accept our request to adjudicate all of them. And I think he should. Legally, I think he's on just as solid ground with 40 as 30 as 20 as 10 as 5 as 1. It's the same standard. It doesn't really matter. But we thought we elected to approach a number that would get as many people into the country as possible, but would also reflect the reality that the government was closed. I mean, the COVID was bad for a couple months. It was terrible. All right. So we picked a number that was basically 80%, really 75% of the available numbers, so 30 out of 40,000, which would lead to a number which is, 80% of the numbers. Now, I clarified to the judge. He says, you're asking for all of them. I said, no, Judge, we're not asking for all of them. We're asking for 80% of them, which is what they should be doing. The reality is if the KCC had not shut down, all these visas they'd be ready for processing. They'd just send them out by number. Boom, 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 boom. But instead, you all followed my advice, which I think was solid advice, which is squeaky wheel gets the grease, right, Mike? Squeaky wheel gets the grease. And it was a free-for-all. It's been a free-for-all all month. And lots of people with high numbers got visas. One, because they were plaintiffs. They took the risk. And, it's a risk. You got to take the risk. And life in America is full of risks. Just being an immigrant to America is a massive risk, especially under Donald Trump. So they were rewarded for taking that risk. I'm not going to begrudge them. I think that's awesome. But other people, too, they were the squeaky wheel. They were at the KCC. They were at the consulate. And they got done. I get it. And you might not think that's fair, but, that's the way this free-for-all works. Should the judge agree with us that he can extend the visa program beyond today and allocate certain visas, I think they will go back to a strict numerical system. But keep in mind, so far this year, and most years, about 35% of people are denied. One person emailed me; they were denied because they had interviewed on another visa a year or 2 or 4 years ago, in which the consular officer believed they weren't being completely truthful. And so when he went back for his lottery case after paying all the money, they said, no, we're denying you because we think you weren't truthful before. That happens a lot. The form itself is a real pain in the butt. And if you make one error, you forget to include a child. I don't know how you forget to include a child, or you didn't miss an address, you don't spell something correctly. They will find any reason to deny you. I mean, it's a hyper-technical program. I get it's awful. But that means that about 35% of people are going to be denied. And if they only notified 80,000, that's about 45,000, 50,000. So most people, if the judge gives us our 30,000, most people are probably going to get theirs. So that's why we made that argument on Monday. When the judge asked me about that, I tried to be as clear as possible. We also tried to be clear that the government, even since September 4th, has not been making a full effort to process these visas. Their own numbers. And the judge keeps giving the government the benefit of the doubt on this. I guess it's because I've been working in this for 30 years, and I refuse to give them the benefit of the doubt. There are some really good people that work for the U.S. government. Consular officers, generally speaking, are just awesome people. They do great work. They're in it to really help people. But also protect America. I get it. But the political leadership today deserves no respect, no quarter. And so I'm not willing to cut them any slack. They arbitrarily pick a date in July and then measure July to now and compare to previous years. But they pick the date out of thin air. And that's why I tried to bring the judge back to March. The KCC stopped working in March, and not July, not April, and they were processing visas. I think that was also very important for the note. He did ask, he asked the government for a follow-up report on how many immediate relative visas they'd issued. Now, honestly, I didn't quite understand why he was doing that, except maybe, those weren't barred by the proclamation. How many were you doing? And he could see that their numbers on that were down by 80% as well. And maybe he'll say, well, I'm going to give you 80% of them. I'm going to give you 20% of the numbers because immediate relatives. But that's one, inherently not fair. And two, immediate relatives could come to America and adjust status here. So, I tried to bring home the fact that they were not working as hard as they could have worked, even compared to the years in which they, hey, we normally do 15% of our visas are diversity visas. Well, they were only 8% this year. They only issued 8% of the visas they issued during the whole period. So I think the judge was kind of taken aback. He's got a pretty good poker face, although, I think he gets back. I do not. I don't play poker, by the way. No, don't play poker with me. Well, you could. I will lose. You will win. But I thought it was really important to be forceful, and be respectful. We didn't attack the government. I even thanked the consular officers for the work they've done. We got word yesterday that Tirana, perhaps in Albania, they just closed. We're not doing any more visas. Yeah, as of yesterday, or as of Monday, we're not doing any more. That's not right. That's not fair. Which again speaks to the issue of how many visas the judge should hold. Now, we asked for 30. The government asked for 400. Will he? I hope he doesn't take a Solomon decision. I don't want him to split the baby in half and give us 15. But I could see him coming around 20, 25. And frankly, that number would be, we could appeal, all right? But there's no time. Appealing this is all about time. We've already appealed the Gomez decision on the proclamation. That's on appeal at the Court of Appeals. But that's not going to be adjudicated for the end of the year. It's not. It's not. I guess it could be, but it's highly unlikely to be adjudicated for the end of the year. This is our shot. Now, people have asked me, will the government appeal this decision? I'm not sure they will, honestly. A lot of people say, oh, no, they will. If they appeal, we're already in a district that has ruled against them on this issue. I'm not sure they want to, and the makeup of the district hasn't really changed since then. Now, we could get a really bad panel and a bunch of Trump appointees and they shut us down. But I don't think so. I don't think they want to take this risk of making this a precedent going forward. I think they would just say, okay, district court ruled on it and, we'll process the visas. We've also learned, I learned from Britt Simon, they haven't adjudicated any visas for 2021. They haven't set any appointments. No appointments. They're supposed to start interviewing tomorrow, then no appointments for any of October. If you have a 2021 person and you have an appointment, please let me or Britt Simon know. So here's what I expect today. The judge will give us a decision late in the day. It could be this evening. I do not expect a decision at noon. So don't say, when's the decision? I don't know. It'll be today, though. He promised he would do it today. He understands the necessity of doing it today. And the necessity, so you understand, is the prior decisions that said if the judge makes a decision during the fiscal year, it's addressable going forward. But if you file after the fiscal year, it's not addressable going forward. So he understands that he has to do that. And I think that he will. And I think that'll be probably close to 5, 6, 7 o'clock, something like that. I'd be surprised, but he's going to take all he needs to take. The government yesterday did file their supplemental brief to talk about how many visas they issued. And I could have sworn the judge asked about F2As, how many F2As they issued, which was basically none. But my colleagues think I'm wrong. But I swear I heard that. So the IR stuff, we'll see. Maybe he's going to use that as a comparison, reduce the DVs to the same percentage that IRs reduce. We can't give them more benefits than we give everybody else. And then let them sue, judge. Let them sue. So that's where we go. If the judge does extend, then honestly, you need to be on the phone to the KCC immediately. We'll do a Facebook Live when we get the decision, but I do have another call tonight at 7 that I have to be on for our K1 lawsuit for the fiancés that are getting screwed over. And I don't think that will end to 8. So if I do a call, I'll do a Facebook Live. It'll be late tonight, unfortunately, for all our friends in Europe. I do apologize for that, but of course you'll be able to rewind it and watch it later. But in advance, if we win and the judge grants an extension of time and allocates more visas, if he's smart, he'll do two things. One, he'll say plaintiffs get first dibs. All right, deal with the plaintiff. But the plaintiffs should be almost done. They should be almost done as of today. There'll be some stragglers, but they'll be almost done. And he should say, do the rest in numerical order, how you would normally do them. In that case, if you've got a high number, you're probably not going to get picked. Okay, you're probably not going to get picked. I get that. But we'll see. Doesn't mean you can't be the person that calls the KCC. Again, squeaky wheel gets the grease. You're calling the KCC. You have all your documents in. You just got to keep pushing. Call the consul, be the best. Some of you are in countries with very few visas that have to be issued. And others are in countries with 6,000. Now, a couple big countries are not even on the table right now, although we've asked the judge to fix that. Countries like Nigeria and Sudan, we've asked the judge to fix that. And hopefully he will fix that, freeing up Sudan, freeing up Iran in a more easy way, freeing up Nigeria so they can get their visas issued in a reasonable period of time. And we asked them to extend the lottery until the end of February for two reasons. One, and as I explained to the judge, to give the Department of State plenty of time to do these visas. I mean, if they did 6,000 a month, which is what they clearly did this month, and they weren't even working at their normal capacity, they could do all 30,000 in 5 months without breaking a sweat and without really interfering with DV2021 people, okay? Because we're cognizant of that issue too. Second is if Trump loses, he will extend the proclamation. Understand that. Wins or loses, he's extending the proclamation. But if he loses, we have on January 20th a new president, who could end the proclamation. And of course, we're also going to be working, so you understand, we're also working with Congress to get a bill passed, likely next year, although maybe depending on what happens here, maybe during the lame duck session. Lame duck session is when we have a new president coming in, old one's leaving, and Congress can do stuff and nobody cares. Although I don't think Trump would sign it, but to recapture these visas for you winners. So don't throw your papers away, all right? There's that hope out there as well. So that's kind of where we think we are. So keep being the squeaky wheel, keep calling the consulates, keep calling the KCC once we get the decision. Today is the day. Today's the day you sit back and relax. I've gotten several emails this morning saying from our plaintiff clients, I got my visa today, but they screw people too. People that they reissued a visa for today that were not under the proclamation, they put subject to the proclamation. I mean, really, it's just incredible. Every obstacle they can throw in the way of somebody, they're doing it, and that's absolutely insane. Now, after today, as of this point, we have not taken individual clients. We've worked in the class. We're also slammed right now because of the visa bulletin, which means basically like 100,000 people, 200,000 people can apply for green cards literally in the next 2 weeks. So we're slammed with that as well. But we're more than willing to help people. What you do is you call for an appointment. We do the appointments for free on the phone. You just call. You can do Skype. We can do a video. We can do Zoom. We can do WhatsApp. We can just a phone call. Whatever works for you. We have free internet. I mean, we have free calls, so it doesn't cost us anything to call you. Or you to call us on WhatsApp, and we can walk through your situation. So you can certainly call. We have 12 lawyers here. We're willing to help out on individual cases, but we're also going to tell you, look, there's nothing I can do right now. No, we're not here to screw people in their cases. We're here to tell you the truth about what your options are. So if you've got your number's 58,000, you're probably not going to get, probably not, maybe, but probably not going to get that. So let's take a couple questions here. You guys, by the way, lots of people on the call today. Good to see you all. Mike, good morning. Simon, good morning. Cal, GM, I don't know what GM means. Hola, compatriota peruano, Nancy, que gusto verte. Extraño mi país. Nancy calls me her Peruvian compatriot. As you heard before, I lived in Peru as a young man. I love Peru. Inside, I'm Peruvian, and I just love Peru. Wonderful case. Anything tonight? Waiting for the judge. That's right, Anastasia. Now, for many of you, it's the evening already, so you're hoping and praying to wake up to good news. Tengo un favor, pues, mira después de la folla. Well, I don't know what that's about. We'll skip from there. Arriba, Peru. Que viva, Zolita. Que viva. Do you think 3.0? Dimitri, I'm not a 3.0 lawyer. All of you know that I was not in favor of suing again because we filed a class action. Our class covers everybody. I do not think the judge is going to give the plaintiffs in Kennedy any additional benefits than the rest of the plaintiffs. I don't. They're not consolidated in our case. They weren't filed as class action. And I think he's just going to dismiss that. I could be wrong. But that case is not even being heard till October. I mean, they don't even have a hearing in the case. There's no decision in that case. So, no, he's not going to combine it. And he's probably going to ask them when they have the hearing, didn't I give you relief? You got relief. I mean, why should I give you relief just because you could hire a lawyer? So that's why we were opposed to it. I mean, I understand why they did it. I get it. It's just, for us, we believe we have a strong class case that affects everybody. Admittedly, our favorable Kennedy players, again, I already talked about Don Arjun. I don't know. They're not our plaintiffs. They're not in the Gomez case. So the plaintiffs that benefit are the Gomez, Acker, Fangjam, Mohammed plaintiffs. Kennedy plaintiffs are not us. So the decision will not affect them. They will be non-plaintiff beneficiaries in the class. So you will be in the class. You will get the benefit of the class, but probably in rank order. Marilu, buenos dias. Let's see, we got here. Facebook photos. I don't know what that photo is, Mohammed. I don't want to click on it, but I'll look at it later. Mike, thank you very much. We appreciate you guys. Hello from Kuwait. One of the joys of doing these calls has been all the people around the world. It's really kind of cool to see everybody get together for a common purpose to really help each other. Prolongations, Maruche, already talked about that. We're hoping the judge will give us till February. How many visas? Well, I expect 30, but in case the judge is watching, I don't want to give him any ideas that he can go lower. 1014, well, the proclamation's still in place. That's on appeal. Just so you know, we are also planning another lawsuit, two other lawsuits. We already filed our K1 lawsuit. We're going to be doing an O1 lawsuit with our team of lawyers. And we're probably going to do an F2A, the spouses of permanent residents, the minor children of permanent residents, and the parents of citizens. We're probably going to file another lawsuit that will challenge the proclamations because they don't have a rational basis. And I think we have a pretty good argument on that. And we're probably not going to file that in Washington, D.C. We're probably going to file that in New York, is my guess. I think the judge will, Kennedy, I do not think Kennedy plaintiffs will benefit from this. All right, F2As, we already talked about the F2As. Appreciate the blessing, man. I'm just a guy doing my job. I think I told you before, my grandparents were immigrants from Germany back in 1929 and 1930. They got out of the country before Hitler's rise to power, but while it was in terrible, dire economic straits. And America gave my grandparents a chance. They gave my dad a chance. And they've opened the doors for me. And there's no reason a country of our size, which is really quite small on the geopolitical scale, can't get more immigrants in, because I know the power of immigrants. I know what you can do to our country and how you can make and create us and keep us to be a world leader. Let's see, Prakash, thumbs up to you too. Please spell my name right. C-U-C-K is not good word in English. It's K-U-C-K. Get that right. I have no idea what this says, but I hope it's good. Mario, good morning. Know anything about the loss from a doctor's as well as far as sending letters to claim? Mario, I know about it, but I'm not talking about that right now. From Morocco, hopefully you got your visa or getting your visa. HEROES Act. The HEROES Act is the money. The HEROES Act they're negotiating right now. All right. But it seems to be they're negotiating on money not on the immigration provision. So I would not hold my breath on that. Again, Kennedy is not going to be included in today's case. Hey, John Zimkas. John, where are you from? Congratulations. Big applause. Got your passport issued. Arjun, Kennedy not going to benefit. KCC and Irvin, you must not have been paying attention. Irvin, come on, baby, pay attention to the program here. As I said, DV2021 doesn't start till tomorrow, and we just learned that no appointments have been scheduled. So I've been talking to Britt Simon about this, chatting offline along with my colleagues, and what we're probably going to do is this. We're going to give them a month. I'm going to give them a month to get visas issued, appointments made. And if by November they haven't interviewed anybody, I think we can sue them. And one of the points the judge made was, you didn't file your suit till the end of the year. Well, I get that. Well, we're not going to let that happen again. There's no reason we can't bring the suit early in the year and say, look, you're not issuing the visas. You need to be issuing them. I mean, they appear to be taking the same position that the judge just shut down on the DV2020 for DV2021 and not issuing visas. It's insane. It's an insane, undefensible position. So I think we're going to probably end up suing, but not till November. All right. So keep your patience, Airman. Make sure if you're DV2021, you're at the KCC. You got your documents done. You're processing your stuff. Now, they're limited, of course. Unlike DV2020, where the whole world is current, DV2021 is not all current, early numbers. Make sure you got your stuff in doing that. The ban is in place, my friend. We're still waiting on the California court on that. Nana. Yeah, well, Nana, they're not. The judge is not looking for justice. The judge may be looking to split the baby in half. DV2022, well, I mean, so far, Project Wall, the reason you're treated unfairly is because Donald Trump is a terrible human being. There's my answer. And if you saw our debate last night, if you had the displeasure of watching that nightmare last night of the man who calls himself the leader of the free world, then you could know why you're being treated unfairly. Got my visa. All right, Solomon. Yeah, some concerts were awesome. Congratulations. Hopefully we can get you in here in January. Feel the entry points of music can benefit. Mamdouh, that's at this point we're seeing. We're going to see what the judge does, and we'll go from there. And as I've told all of you, Yarasil, I don't know what that means. I hope it's not bad in some language somewhere. Yarasil, if Trump extends the proclamation and he wins, so Trump's is the winner, and he extends it, nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. I mean, yeah, we'll go back to court. I mean, understand, we will go back to court again, all right? But no, we're toast. You're toast. We're toast. America's closed. We have a nightmare at that point. Maybe we'll get lucky and impeach him again. Reissued our visas today. And I printed it there. I said, yes, Dora, I don't know if you were one of those who live in Hungary. If you were reissued and you had your visa valid, if your visa was valid on April 23rd, that's wrong. So you need to call them back. You need to actually print out the website that says you're not subject to the proclamation and ask them to reprint it. Or you can take you can get on a plane and just come, and when the CBP says you're subject, say no, we're not. Here's the Department of State rule on that. They go, okay. So get on a plane. I mean, get on a plane. And the airline won't let you on. Call me. That's when you set an appointment. We can fight for you on that on an individual basis. Mahmoud, I don't know. Maybe you're copying people on that. Can you appeal the entry points? Visas can enter the U.S. before their visas expire. No, Kelly, that one is we lost on that issue, and that's on appeal. Arjun, you've already asked that question 6 times. I've already answered it 6 times. Number-wise is done. One will be the first one to receive second email from my interview. Hopefully, Sulav, hopefully you'll get that. I think that's what they'll probably end up doing. It seems the most fair. But thank you so much, Irin. It's been a pleasure fighting for everybody. I mean, a favorite. Kennedy, Arjun, I'm going to block you, man. I'm going to block you. All right? Stop it. And what appeal? The appeal, it's pending. It's going to be at end of the year. The appeal of the NIE. Oh, well, If you've been denied an NIE, that's actually not appealable, unfortunately. But you can re-ask for it. So if you did it yourself, maybe you want to hire a lawyer to help you with it. They've been granting a lot of them. And then what will happen in 2021, either lawsuit? Kailash, again, if Trump loses, 2021 is going to be okay. All right, if Trump loses. Trump wins, yeah, we'll sue, but it's going to be tough. All right, everybody. Thank you so much today. Hey, you got your visa printed? All right, Rahman. You should call for an appointment. We're going to help you get in the country. This is ridiculous. Any of you who got visas reissued that says subject to the proclamation, you need to email me. Here's my email. I want you to email me. Let's see, where's my email here? Email me a picture of the passport of both visas, the previous visa and the current visa, and your country of issuance. Of course, that's on the visa. And then once you hire us, we will get that fixed, or we'll get you in the country because you're not subject. We will be able to fix that for you. Couple more comments, please. Yes, we will be doing it. Eltis already talked about that. Rewind, and you'll hear that. Thank you, everybody. It's been awesome. We will talk tonight after we get the decision and give you some more advice. Until then, have a wonderful evening. For some of you, have a great day. For the rest of you, we'll talk to you soon.